Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a closer look at the Keychron Q6 Max full-size wireless mechanical keyboard. We'll unbox it, take a closer look at the keyboard itself and the accessories that come in the box. We'll also jump over to the Keychron launcher, have a quick look at how we can customize this keyboard. So let's go ahead and dive right into unboxing this Keychron Q6 Max. Now, of course, if you are interested in this keyboard, it is linked below in the description so you can find more information or pick one up for yourself. Now, the Keychron website has many models of keyboards to choose from, so if you're looking for a high-end wireless mechanical keyboard like this one, a gaming mouse, specialty keys, or something more basic for work and play, Keychron has you covered. So we'll have a closer look at the box here before we open it up, and this box is very heavy. You can tell this is going to be a heavy-duty keyboard, but let's have a quick look here. So again, this is the Keychron Q6 Max full-size wireless mechanical keyboard. This one has the red linear Gateron Jupiter switches, and it's Q6M-M1, an open source customizable keyboard for peak productivity. We'll flip it over here. We've got the keyboard here and what's included in the box and a whole bunch of specs. So we'll quickly go over the specs here. It's a full-size layout, so it's a 100% keyboard. So it does have the number pad off to the right, which is important if you're using it for work, as well as the arrow keys. A double gasket design, so flexible typing feel with a satisfying typing sound. Dual compatibility, so it will work with both Windows and Mac, as well as on their website it says it works with Linux. It's compatible with the web configurator, so the Keychron launcher for full customization. It's got a 1000 hertz polling rate, so it's nice and quick for gaming, which is awesome. You can pair up to 3 devices with it. So if you run a multi-computer setup like I do with multiple computers, you can connect up to 3 devices with it. It's got screw-in stabilizer for increased stability. The battery life, so this is a 4000 milliamp hour battery. It says it lasts up to 180 hours with the backlight disabled. So that's a nice long battery life. And it's got lighting effects. So there's 22 plus RGB lighting effects in there. And it also says that the RGB is south facing. So we'll go ahead and open this up. So the first thing we've got here is the quick start guide with instructions on connecting it via 2.4 gigahertz or the Bluetooth connection or a cabled connection. Different information on the backlighting, warranty, the adjusting brightness, that sort of thing is all in there. And then we've got some more paperwork and accessories here. So the main instruction manuals there, as well as a little warning if you are swapping out the switches, just to make sure that the pins are straight. And then a whole bunch of accessories. So we've got some keys if we want to swap those out. Those look to be like the Windows keys if you're using Windows. I think the Mac ones are already on there. We've got what looks like a screwdriver, an Allen wrench, as well as the key and switch puller in there. We've got our 2.4 gigahertz dongle, as well as a female to female USB-C to USB-A adapter. And then it looks like we've got some acoustic foam here with some extra screws if you are customizing the keyboard. And then we've also got our charging cable. So this is kind of a braided cable, seems really high quality. It's USB-C on the one end and to USB-C. And then there's a little adapter here that goes from USB-C to USB-A. So no matter what kind of connection you're using, you should be covered with that. And we'll go ahead and pull the keyboard out here. So this is what the keyboard looks like. I'm really liking the multi-tone there, the whites, nice sound on the keys, kind of the blue-gray, the blacks, and the accent color there. Really nice look to that. Now this is an aluminum kind of housing on there, so it's processed through a CNC machine, and this feels really heavy duty. It weighs 4.81 pounds, so it's a sturdy unit, or 2,184 grams. If you are looking for the specific dimensions, I'll pop them up on the screen right now so you can have a look at that. But overall, it's a very heavy duty unit, probably the best built keyboard I've actually ever had my hands on, so I'm really quite happy with that. And again, it's the 100% layout here. So we've got the arrow keys as well as the number pad off to the right, which is great if you're using it for work. It's also got this specialty knob key here that rotates as well as you can push it in. On the bottom here, we've got these rubberized knob feet, and there's 8 of them across the bottom. This is definitely not going to slide around on your desk very much with those and the weight of the unit. And then at the top here, we've got our USB-C charging port. We can choose between Windows and Mac, as well as how we're connecting it. So whether we're using the 2.4 gigahertz mode, the cable, or a Bluetooth connection, we can just switch that how we want it. The battery in this keyboard is a 4,000 milliamp hour rechargeable lithium polymer battery with up to 180 hours of wireless working time with RGB off, and it says 100 hours with RGB on low. I really like the sound of this. This Keychron Q6 Max comes pre-assembled with Red Gateron Jupiter mechanical switches with a double gasket keyboard design. This helps reduce the noise of the impacted metals. And this keyboard is also available with brown or banana switches. So you can hot swap every switch on the Q6 Max with almost any 3-pin or 5-pin MX style mechanical switch on the market. So whether you want to switch out the keycaps for a fun look or all of your switches, you're all set. Now I've turned down the brightness in this room, and we'll go ahead and turn on the keyboard so you can see the RGB. So it says there's more than 22 modes of RGB. You can see it's behind the keys there. It doesn't shine through the keys. So that's what it looks like there with the RGB on. And there's all sorts of settings that you can adjust. So on the keyboard here, you can hit function Q to go through the 22 plus different modes in here. You can also, if you don't want the RGB on, you can turn that off. So function tab would turn it off and back on. You can also adjust the brightness of that as well with function W and function S. So all sorts of different options in here that you can go through with the RGB. It does say that there's different modes as well. So RGB hue, saturation, brightness, effect speed, and the different modes. So I think we'll jump over to the Keychron launcher here and show you how you can customize the keyboard. So I've loaded up the Keychron launcher web app here, and this is where we would customize our keyboard. So it's really easy to use. Just make sure your keyboard is hardwired in. And in here, we can go ahead and select key map on the left, and we can select any key on our keyboard. So for example, this one up here in the top right-hand corner, I'll select it. You can see it goes red around it. Then we can go through and select what we'd like it to be. So there's all the basic keys here. We've got media keys. So maybe we want that button to be our play button. We could just go ahead and select play, and you can see that that turns into our play button here at the top. If we want to reset the whole layout, we can do that right here as well. And there's all sorts of options, including macro, special, lighting, if you'd like buttons to control your RGB, custom, and layer. We can also control what the knob does on the keyboard. So that knob I showed you, we've got that. Currently it's set as mute and volume up and down, but we can change that as well in here. Now back over on the left-hand side, we can select lighting. This is where we can adjust the RGB lighting in our keyboard. So we can select from one of many effects. So again, there's 22 in there right now, plus 0, which is none. So we can turn off the RGB. We can select solid colors if we like, or we can select one of the different options. So breathing, cycling, all the different options that are available there in the keyboard. So lots of options there. We can set up macros in here as well. So if you want macros, there's 1 through 15, and you've got all sorts of options here for creating those custom macros. We can also do a firmware update in here if we need to, so it'll guide us through that. We've got module update, so this is more of the information on the keyboard, and then we can do a keyboard test as well and test if the keys are all functioning on our keyboard. So you can see how many times you've punched the keys, and it's all set that way. So a lot of different options here in the Keychron launcher, and it's really easy to use to customize the keyboard just how you like it. So overall, I'm really impressed with this Keychron Q6 Max wireless custom mechanical keyboard. It's sleek, it's customizable, it's got a lot to offer. It's very heavy duty and sturdy, which is great for larger work desktops or gaming. It's got those red Gateron Jupiter mechanical switches, which keep it a little bit quieter, which is something I'm looking for. I don't like a super clicky keyboard, and I really like the sound of this keyboard specifically. It can connect up to 3 computers, which is really important to me as I run multiple devices here in my office. It feels extremely well built and sturdy with that aluminum frame or housing on it, and I think this will hold up for a long time. This would be a great addition for someone looking for a wireless keyboard that's super heavy duty and checks the boxes for both work and gaming. So I hope this quick unboxing of the Keychron Q6 Max gave you value. If it did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.